Let's talk about property management fees and compare fees from agency to agency and see what that looks like. Probably the very first thing I get asked when somebody is buying an investment property or is looking to rent out a property is the first thing they ask is, what are our fees? But what's really interesting is it's probably not the right question to ask, because what's probably a better question is, what can you do to structure things to help me maximize my return on investment? Because that's what it's all about. It's not about fees, it's about maximizing the return on your investment. Try and simplify that a little bit is, if you use a property manager who lets your property sit vacant for an extended period of time, you've potentially just lost thousands of dollars in rental income. And that is dramatically going to impact your return on investment. And I've just had that happen recently, where two people have come to me. One was in Montville and one was in Caloundra, and they both had a similar story. My property's been empty for 12 weeks. I'm told the market's bad. There's nobody interested. Is that what you're finding? I was shocked. They've both basically lost about $5,000. Now, that just wipes out any particular saving they might be getting from using an agency with cheap fees. Before you look at fees as well, you've got to consider this. Are you getting fair market rent? So we've got a lot of landlords that come to us that have been with another agency, and the first thing we do is a rental review, and sometimes we find that the property is under rented by just $20, but at the extreme we've seen properties under rented by $150. Now, if your property is being under rented for, say, $100 a week, you're losing $5,000 a year in income that you'll never get back. And that loss just really wipes out any potential saving on an agency with cheaper fees. Agencies tend to charge anywhere from 5% up to about 11% plus GST for their property management fees. Asset agents, we sit in the middle. We charge 8% plus GST for our property management fees. But in addition to property management fees, most agencies have other fees as well. And you've got to really have a very good look at what other fees they could potentially hit you with. I recently saw somebody's Form 6 with another agency, and I was shocked at the fees that they were being charged. In addition to the property management fee, they were being charged 1 week's rent for a termination fee. So if they wanted to terminate their agreement with that agency was going to charge them a week's rent. They were being charged $85 per hour for a QCAT fee. So if the agency had to go to QCAT on their behalf, they would charge them $85 an hour to go through that process. They can also charge an end of financial year fee. They can charge a maintenance fee. All these other little hidden fees. We try and keep it fairly simple. So our fees are 8% plus GST for property management. When we let the property, we charge 1 week plus GST let fee, and we charge $165 for a marketing fee. That marketing fee is because we put it on realestate.com as the largest ad possible. We also charge a $5.50 including GST technology fee, and for a lease renewal we charge half a week's rent. That's all our fees, there's no other fees. So when you are comparing agencies with agencies, you've got to consider what are the small hidden fees they may not have disclosed to you up front. So ask them for a copy of the Form 6 that they'd be asking you to sign, and have a look through that closely. Now, when you consider that most property managers charge anywhere from 5 to 11%, we're in the middle there at 8%. There isn't a really big difference in that. And where you'll lose out as an investor is if you choose an agency where you feel you're saving on fees, but they're not doing a particularly good job. So they're taking a long time to place a tenant. You're going to lose out on weekly rental income. Or if they're not doing regular rental increases to meet the market with rental increases, and all of a sudden your property falls behind and you're missing out $100 a week in rental income. They're the areas where people don't really notice where they completely miss out on. Find too that property management fees are 100% tax deductible. A big part of investment property ownership is you want to maximize your tax. So any fees you incur, they are tax deductible. So there you go, that's a bit of an overview on property management fees and how they compare. I hope that's been helpful, and do remember that don't just compare the fees, you've got to consider the return on investment. How long will the property sit vacant? Will they do regular market rental increases to protect you as a property investor and help you build wealth?